Hi guys, welcome back to another cinematic mic review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Melinda Leon's film Cancion sin Nombre. It's a film that I believe got submitted into some film festivals last year and ended up getting some awards. The thing that excited me about it is that it's from Peru. Though how it got my interest was because a few weeks ago or about a month ago, I was thinking about another Peruvian film. It's Claudia Lozo's The Milk of Sorrow, La Teta Asustada. I was thinking about that film because I was craving another foreign film, but then again, I was craving something from Peru, and I was just like, I just kind of wanted another connection to Peru. I just came back from my trip from Peru. Well, it was last year, but it feels like I still barely got back from there. Peru is a beautiful place. I love Peru, and I hope to go back someday. Both of my parents are from Peru. They were born and raised in Peru, so it was beautiful to see where my parents came from, and I'm proud of where they're from. And so I still kind of wanted this connection to Peru. Like at the same time, I wanted the taste of another foreign film. And I didn't know about this, but some also what I was thinking about when I was sitting on the couch, I was thinking about like why doesn't Peru have like its own cinema? Yeah, I don't see many films from Peru. I never hear anything about Peruvian films. And I know here we have our own cinema. I think Mexico has its own cinema, but Peru, it's not much. And then I looked it up, and if you look up the information on the films from Peru, there's only like several of them. They're not that much that come out in a year. There's only several of them. But the thing that's good is that at least we get them once in a while and something good comes out of it, and maybe they're still kind of growing into making their own cinema. And I hope they do. And I hope in the future a lot more films from Peru come out and hopefully they're able to like establish their own industry of film over there. So I really hope that something like that happens for them. I saw this film today, and I gotta say it was really, really beautiful. It's probably not as big as you would think, but it's a beautiful film. One of the things that made me fall in love with it was the first shot, the very first shot, that the frame and the 4:3 aspect ratio. They do that to kind of throw you back in the time of where it's at. I believe it's in like the 1980s. But there's a shot right there of the opening. I believe it's at night, and you see like the hill and the lights illuminating from like the misty sky. The reason I love that shot is because it right away reminded me of Peru. When I got to Peru, there's like something about Peru. I don't know why, but it's the it's always like misty, and the lights do illuminate all the time. Something that I always said is that it looks like it's just filled with like gold because of the lights. It's like illuminating it, and it was something that really reminded me of Peru and made me miss it right away. And I gotta say that first shot is freaking beautiful to me. I love that shot. That shot already got me hooked on it. The film is about this character named Georgina who's pregnant, and she's a resident of Peru. She she works outside trying to sell potatoes, and that's another thing that I like, to seeing the people that are out there selling. It's something I saw in Peru, something you see in many foreign countries, I believe, but how they don't do it like they do it here. It's way different over there, but it's something that's beautiful that you see. And so she's pregnant, and she ends up hearing something on the radio about some clinic being able to help them with their pregnancy, and she ends up going over there, and they end up stealing her baby. And that's kind of what the story is about, is her wanting to find her baby, and this journalist that ends up finding some interest in her story and feels bad for her and tries to help her. There are many things I liked about the film. One of them was the they represent the culture of Peru in a very nice way. I love there's a scissor dance scene in the beginning that I really enjoyed, because the reason I liked it is because I've seen that scissor dance when I went to Peru at some restaurant. They ended up doing that scissor dance, and it reminded me of that. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, because I just saw that dance last year, and it was really beautiful to see that them shoot that scene right there with the scissor dance. There's also this scene that I like, Georgina going to the clinic. I'm not sure if it's when she's trying to look for her baby or when she goes to that hospital. I think it's when she first goes to that hospital, when she's actually in labor. And there's a shot where it follows her, and they do close up on her feet of her struggling to go up the stairs. And then it, like, the camera does this like pan, or I don't know what it does, but it goes and looks up, and then you just see all the stairs that she has to go through as she's in labor. and you feel bad for her because she's like the only one there. She's the only one doing this on her own. And I thought that was really impressive on how they shot that. I also like how they put these little things kind of in the background to tell the story of people from Peru and how they deal with things. There's this scene where I think Georgina and her husband are going to report that their baby was stolen, but in front of them is a lady who's asking to find if her son or her husband is inside that prison, and they say he's not here. You got to go to this other prison. So she has to go on searching to another prison. It's kind of the same thing. If something may happen here, you got to find, but it seems like it's more of a struggle from a place like that than it is here, because I feel like they take a lot of time over there to do that, to find their loved ones inside that prison, and now they have to go do another. It's like doing another mission to go to another prison now, which is it's sad to see that, but it feels like that is what would happen. The scene where Georgina actually ends up getting into labor and she gets her baby delivered, that scene really made me emotional. It made me choke up because I mean, you know what's gonna happen, but seeing it, I don't know why. As you get hooked into the film and you just want to follow this character, and when they take her baby away, you it got me mad. I got mad because I already knew, but some reason it still got to me, and it really got me mad that I hated those people that took the baby. And then it kind of becomes something that I loved about the film when I was watching it. That scene right there, I don't know why, but it becomes scary. It like puts you in that situation where it's something scary that's happening. Like, you see people panic when they think they lose their baby, and it kind of brings back that kind of feeling. It puts that feeling inside you. As I said, I like the way they represent kind of the culture of Peru. The music, the dances. It's all part of Peru. It's really something beautiful about Peru, and something that is really really a part of them. Uh, I've seen it when I went there. I've heard the music and I love it. I love the music in this film. I love the score. I think the score is by Pauchi Sasaski. The music score is. I really fell in love with that music score. The music that's in there is music I heard when I was in Peru, so it's beautiful to hear that music again. Everything from Peru for me is beautiful. So sorry if I sound like I'm bragging too much about Peru, but it really is something that's beautiful to me. I love that thing about the music because also there's gatherings, and one of the things that I appreciated, I don't know why I think about this most. You can think about being in Peru and you think about the trips that you go to historical sites, the photos you take at these big palaces and all that. But the one thing that I took back from there is when I was in Peru, there was a party that we went to, and the party is way so different from here for some reason. Not in the way it looks, but the vibe of it. There's something more appreciative of the party, because right here you have a lot that you can do for a party. We can rent out a place and build these jumpers and put a big old show. But the party that we did was like at a neighbor's place, and it was just music, drinks, a cake, probably someone cooked some food. We were all like against the wall, seated like in a square, and made the floor a dance floor. And I don't know why, but there's something much more beautiful to just celebrating that way than thinking that we need all this big show and all that. And it's something that really touched me when I was in Peru and made me have an experience, and that's something that I took back with me. The other thing about this film, it's a period piece, so it takes place in the 1980s, and it touches up on a communist party called the Shining Path, which was something that was around there in Peru around that time, and like big time. I'm not sure if they're still around, but that I know that it was around there. I barely talked about that with my mother the other day because when I was looking up some Peruvian films, I saw that most of them have to do with this communist party called the Shining Path, and I asked her if she ever experienced something with that, and she had mentioned to me. She told me that she did one time when she was on her way to go visit someone. She got scared because they shut off all the power of the city or the town that they were in, and it's something that they did. The funny thing is, I had talked about that with her, and she told me about the lights turning off. I ended up seeing Melinda Leon's short film. She has some short films, and I saw her short film, Paraíso de Lily, Lily's Paradise. And I had just talked about that with my mom like 2 days before, I think, or the day before. And then I go and watch that, and then what do you know? Right there, it happens to them when they're sitting down at the table. The lights just turn off, and they're trying to hear the radio to see if the Shining Path is gonna claim responsibility over shutting down the power. So I was like, oh man, something my mom told me she experienced, and it's right there in the film. So you kind of see that Melinda Leon's really capturing these things that really did happen in Peru, right? I think it's good when you do a period piece and then you put something there that's going to represent that time and takes you back to that spot. I just saw a film called Ladybird, which is by Greta Gerwig, and that takes place in 2001. And all throughout like the film, they talk about war and 9/11, which kind of puts you back into that, throws you back to that time when you heard about those stuff or some people might have experienced around that time, you know. So it kind of really puts you into the realistic world and grounds it more. So I like that they touched up a little bit on that. As I said, I enjoyed the 4:3 aspect ratio that they put to it to kind of put it back in time. And I love the look of the film too, is how you're able to separate things. It's not that hard, like you're able to see, because sometimes it looks like it might be hard, but it's, you can separate the beach, you can separate the town that she lives in, you can separate when it's nighttime. And I think the reason it kind of looks like that now that I'm thinking of it is because of that told I told you that Peru for some reason has this the sky is always kind of misty. It's something that I noticed when I went to Peru is that the sky is always misty, and that's also obviously what made me fall in love with the opening shot. Is that kind of misty look and how the lights illuminate the city. As I said, Melinda Leon has two short films. One's called El Paraíso de Lily, Lily's Paradise, and then she has another one called Girl with the Walkman. I've seen both of them, and you can watch it on. She has a site, and you can watch it on there. I'll see if I can put the link in the description so you guys can watch it if you guys are curious. I really like the Lily's Paradise. I didn't understand much of The Girl with the Walkman, but I know some people might actually enjoy that one. Then, because I'm talking about Melinda Leon, who's a new female director and from Peru, I gotta bring back Claudia Loso, who did the Milk of Sorrow, La Teta Asustada. I just saw that she did a short film too, and I saw it recently. It's called Loxoro, which is about these transgenders from Peru, and Loxoro is actually a language that they themselves speak. I really like the film. It's about a mom who's looking for her daughter. They're both transgender, but she's looking for her daughter who ends up getting hurt in the opening. It's a really shocking scene, which really disturbed me watching it. But I love the look of the film. I didn't like it as much because I thought it could be a little bit bigger. It's a decent film. It's decent, and I love the look of the film. But I still felt like they could have gone much more into it. But it is what it is, and I still support it. It's good. And if you guys haven't seen Claudia Loso's The Milk of Sorrow, La Teta Asustada, I recommend that one too. That one's a beautiful film too, with the cinematography that captures a different side of Peru. You know, something that I wanted to see from a film from Peru is seeing things that kind of like what I saw, and I didn't find that in The Milk of Sorrow, even though it because it takes place like more far off, and they only shoot around there. But the music there, the people there, it all reminded me of Peru. But it's not things that I've seen much, and I wanted something that I have seen. So that's why I think I like the opening shot of this film, is because I've seen hills like that. I've been there, and it looked just like when I landed in Peru and when I was staying there, and it looked like it would look like at night. Sadly, this film I don't believe got a release here in the U.S. I believe it was supposed to get a release here in the U.S. in April, but due to the pandemic, it wasn't able to be released. It's something that really hurt me, because when I was looking for it, I was trying to see if it had a US release and I could never find if it did. And I was upset. I was like, did it come out last year? Did I miss it? When is it coming out here? How long is it going to take? And I couldn't find anything out. And then somehow I did a lot of investigation. And then I think I found their Facebook page, and I found out that some US company might have bought the rights to it to distribute it here in the US. But as I said, it was supposed to come out in April, and it wasn't able to because the pandemic hit, which is really sad. The way I got to see the film is due to Berkeley University ended up doing a thing to, I guess they were supposed to do a screening over there, and they did a virtual screening for, so people that were interested were able to submit like a request that they wanted to watch the film. So thanks to Berkeley for actually providing the film for me to see, especially people that are film fanatics that really want to see films that they can't see because they're not brought here. And I thought that was something really kind of them to do, because there are some of us that really enjoy film and we see trailers to a film that's somewhere else and we want to see that film and we don't have a way to watch it. And I think it was really nice of Berkeley to actually provide that for me. And I finished the film. I loved it. So if you guys ever get a chance to see Cancion Sin Nombre, or if you guys can find it anywhere, I definitely recommend that you watch it. I recommend that you watch La Teta Asustada by Claudia Loso also. I recommend that you watch each of these Peruvian female directors' short films too. They're great. That's my review on Cancion Sin Nombre. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.